Now, let's start off with the map veto. That's why I've kind of put it to this point. The reason I want to start off with the map veto specifically is I want to talk about the map and why I feel that it was not a strong map for G2 to start off on, and to put a huge disclaimer to say, I don't think what we saw from G2 was the G2 we will see in future matches. And I'll just skip forward. Now, Clubhouse is like Theme Park. I would actually say Clubhouse is worse than Theme Park in its need for tactical, coordinated, utility-based plays. Now, that's a lot of words, a lot of adjectives, a lot of nouns, etc. Let me say that simply. Clubhouse requires lines of sight to be opened up, critical, vital lines of sight to be opened up, that if not opened, makes your job 10 times harder as an attacker. Clubhouse is extraordinarily defender-sided if those lines of sight, if those pieces of utility do not gain access to the site. And I will unfreeze frame so that Milosh doesn't look a little bit odd there. He's a beautiful man. He doesn't need to be downplayed in any way. But yes, huge disclaimer. I will be essentially making a lot of remarks that a lot of people will say are negative on G2. This is a brand new team. God, I'm going to be essentially criticizing a team that has barely had time to practice together, barely had time to scrim together, barely anything. They've all just moved to Berlin as well. So they've all had to move their lives. So again, huge disclaimer here. I do not believe the way that G2 played in this first game is how they will play in future games. I believe the map pick on a map that requires you to be highly coordinated and highly strategic and tactical and utility based was not a strong pick for their first map. That is all. Okay, so we'll go through it, and as I comment on some of the gameplay, some of the decisions of G2, etc., we will be focusing solely on G2 and their gameplay. We won't be focusing really on Rogue whatsoever. We're here to analyze G2, and any criticism I give them, just imagine it with a little asterisk at the end to say, I do not believe this is the G2 roster that they've now put together. I do not believe it. I believe their roster is one of the most stacked rosters that's ever existed in all of Siege's existence. People will argue with me and say, oh, what about, the old G2, the one that won everything, the Penta? No. Now, the players that they've put together in this lineup are one of the strongest and most stacked lineups that has ever existed in Siege, that you could ever put together, especially statistically. And if they don't do well long term, it is not a skill problem. It is a coordination or a cohesion or a synergy problem. That will be the only reason. Okay? And I am confident in saying it is the most stacked lineup that's ever existed in Siege's existence. Ever. Ever. And you can argue me into the ground for this, but I will stand by my statement right at this singular moment. It is the strongest set of players put on a team together that has ever existed, and I am very happy to be part of Siege during a time where we've been able to put this set of players together, and I really hope to see a domination of them once they start, putting a little bit more cohesion and coordination in together. So let's get into it. Started with the map pick. Clubhouse worried me. When you're a new team, the last thing you want to do is go into a map that requires a lot of coordination, a lot, and a lot of utility that requires pinpoint precision. That scared me. And that does explain a lot, I believe, going forward. All right, let's get into the game. We will talk about the bans, but there actually isn't a lot to talk about with the bans, and I'll tell you why. Why? Because the bans that happen in it, and I believe it's Maverick, Capitao, Mira, Echo are some of the most default bans for this map that I've ever seen. So there was nothing special there. You see aces go wow. Yeah. Capitao out the door. That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, and it was the most default bans I've seen on this map in forever. Maverick ban, not surprised. How else are you going to ban a trick? Capitao ban for multiple reasons. Catwalk, bandit trick, smokes, bolts. Too much to go against. Now, G2 started an attack. And a lot of people asked me before their first game, who would take what role? And I actually got it pretty much bang on. Almost bang on. And I'll wait for the 6th pick. There we go. Well, it wasn't a 6th pick, a change of operator. When they first announced their roster and before they played together, I said Pengu would remain as main support. And then I said that I believe that Virtue and Citizen, or either Virtue and Cantor Ricchetti, will take frag. And obviously Virtue being on the Buck and Canto being on the Zofia fulfills those fragging roles, which pushes Citizen and Uno into flex. Now, I don't believe, and this could be a map-specific thing, that Citizen will always be in a flex. But I've always seen Citizen flex between multiple operators and do really well. Like on defense, for example, he's a great Valkyrie. I've seen him do some amazing stuff with Valkyrie with that MPX. So I don't think being flex with Citizen is out of the norm. I don't feel it out of the norm whatsoever. So it's one of those things that goes with what I thought would happen. A lot of people said, no, they won't move. Why would they move Uno out of frag? Well, just simply because why else would you bring in Virtue? I'm sorry. This man is excuse my French. I'm going to actually say he's a fucking gun. Anyone who says he is not a gun doesn't understand this game. I will flat out say you do not understand this game for a friggin' fingernail if you think that Virtue is not an absolute certified gunner. The things we've seen him do, LAN after LAN, game after game, is unbelievable. So for him not to be in a fragging role would have gone against all of my assumptions, all of my predictions, and I would have been flat out wrong. So I did say from the beginning, Pengu will stay as the support. I expect nothing less of him. He's great on that role. Uno moved down to flex. I wasn't sure if he'd be like main flex or support flex or what he would be. Again, this map requires a certain set of operators almost always. So we're actually not really seeing a fair assessment of their role and their operator choices, because let's say they go on another map like Coastline, then we would really see who takes on what role. You know what I mean? People are arguing, oh, the 5 Jaegers. Virtue. It has to be him. It has to be him. And if it's not him, then it's Cantor. So that is a solid assessment going forward, that this is how it will stay. Citizen will stay flex number 1. You got your 2 fraggers, support flex, and support. So of course, Rogue, they have an opportunity to go wherever they want first round, and they choose to go downstairs. A lot of people think CCTV is like the most superior side, but that totally depends on how you hold it. Totally depends. Both top and bottom have their strengths and weaknesses by far. So it's not unreasonable to see them down here whatsoever. Now, give me 1 second to get my notes up, ladies and gentlemen, because I took a lot of notes on this game. A lot of notes. All right, let's see. Cool. Yes, of course. All right, so I want to start off by saying in the 2 games that I have analyzed so far, there's been a lot of people droning themselves in initially. Now, there's been a shift away from having a dedicated main droner to having people go, okay, I don't need you to drone me in this room because I'm only taking one room. I can drone myself and then you drone the other areas for me. And there's been a little bit of shift away from how we think about droning, how we think about hot droning, etc. So there's no wrong or right answer, but we've seen a lot of individual solo droning, and I will criticize that on G2's behalf because a lot of it ends up in people dying unnecessarily. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we won't have the sound playing. We do not need to hear the casters. We do not need to hear anything that of commentary forward. This is a pure analysis. So you can see Virtue's job is to drone in through stock, make sure lounge is clear. And of course, Cantor Ricchetti making sure that garage is clear. And then he spots a Jaeger out above and gives the call that there is actually a roam. This is where I want to point out, and I actually should have paused that a little bit quicker. There is something in Siege that I've talked about extensively, especially when I moved to Samsung Italy. I was with lower tier players who were trying to understand a lot of the aspects of the game that Challenger League and Pro League players use. And there's something that all competitive players should use, and that's something I call perceived pressure. Now, perceived pressure is a aspect of attacking where you open certain windows and doors and everything to stop freedom of movement for the defenders. This is super important. Okay, so for example, coastlines are a really huge one. Open double window, open hookah door. Why? Because you do not want someone to run around freely in billiards and, you know, rotate and flank and this as much as they want without having a little bit of fear. All right, they might still do it, but you want to have the perceived notion of pressure there, and that's why I call it perceived pressure. Now, what Kanto did was drone into garage, and he kept the barricade closed. That's fine. He didn't want anyone to know he was there, whatever the decision is. But what happened was there were 2 people who were allowed to go down oil pit and rotate out. Now, I don't know if the Kaib was already in oil pit or whatever, but at least the Jaeger was allowed to come over on catwalk down and rotate out of oil pit. Now, had this door been opened, I do not think the Jaeger of Rise would have made that decision. And I don't mean just like a little hole. I mean actually fully opened. If he had seen that that door was completely open, the perceived amount of pressure he would have felt would have been far more than a tiny break in the door. Why? Because he can watch that tiny break, but he cannot watch every angle that could possibly be on an open door. So this is why I felt that it already started on a slippery slope for the entry fraggers, because they started to, 1, drone themselves in, 2, not have perceived pressure applied to the defenders, and 3, once the defenders had actually rotated back to site, yes, Rise took a big hit in his health, but, you know, he wasted about, not enough time, but he managed to get back to site freely. Now there becomes an issue, and I'm going to show why. Citizen lost a drone. Cantor Ricchetti lost a drone. There is 2 drones out from Uno, 1 in the pocket of Pengu, 1 out from, 1 in the pocket of Virtue, 1 out from. So I now know that the 2 first people to drone, or at least get their drone seen by a defender, were some of the 2 fraggers. Again, Citizen being a flex, so him droning is probably very valuable because he should stay alive to get hatches, etc. I don't understand where the other drones are. We need to obviously wait for this to happen throughout the round, and we need to be able to spot it. But Kanto now uses his second drone to re-drone Garage. And Virtue rechecks his lounge drone. He knows no one's there, he can move in on stock. At this point, there's been 40 seconds. They've made a small engagement with someone who was roaming upstairs. That person got to rotate back to site. And now we've got Uno in on main stairs, opening up with his breaching charges. Really key bits of the site that you need to open up above. So this is good. And actually, that's a great picture, by the way, that I've been able to pause on. That actually shows you all the breachable parts. That's really cool. And so now this has become a complete turtle from Rogue. You can see Kanto, who has one drone in his pocket. He's picked up his drone. He's got no more Claymore. I believe he might have placed that over Oil Pit. I'm not entirely sure. And he's going to challenge Blue to see if he can get any free picks. Whilst this is all happening, over half the round has been expended. So the time management of G2 hasn't been great. By Uno being in at 1 minute 40 or 1 minute 50, whatever it was, breaching the walls and the floor of above Armory, etc., or the hallway, shows me that they knew that no one was roaming. Otherwise, he'd be scared of main stairs, for example. And so they knew it was clear. So why it's taking so long to get these hatches open is concerning. I'm not sure what's taking so long. And what is this? You have to assume 900% of the time that there is going to be someone waiting there with an electrical. You never try and open a hatch without a double EMP. On Clubhouse, for example, kitchen hatch, you always assume that that's going to be impact trick mostly, right? So you can actually play around with that one a little bit more. You can actually peek the impact hole, the impact tricking hole. You can try and buck above to remove the people. You breach charge above to remove anyone impact tricking. And if it's electric lord, cool. Breach above, EMP it, and then it's very doubtful that someone's going to be able to lob their electric claw from halfway across and get it in time. But any other hatch that you cannot see under, you must assume is being Kai tricked. Must assume. So I don't know what this was about. He's obviously used his other exothermic on Dirt Tunnel. That's my big assumption. I can't imagine he used it anywhere else. And then he goes to use it on Moto. Now, I can bet my fucking bank that Uno still has at least 2 EMPs. At least. So why he did that, I'm not sure. He does. He has 2 EMPs. There you go. I don't know why it's not a huge waste because, well, it is. Because let's say Citizen opened that hatch instead. They double EMP'd it and Citizen opened it with his Hibana charges, his ex-Kairos, and then they dropped hatch and they opened Church Wall. That may have changed the round exponentially. And I'll try and point that out as we go along. Now what they're doing is they have less than a minute left. They don't really have anything open. They've got kitchen hatch open. They've got Dirt Tunnel open. But Dirt Tunnel's being challenged. That actively has a defender in there. And there's someone on AKs as well, which they can't seem to remove. They know that Kanto's pinching from Blue. And they're finally opening Moto hatch. Hicks gets super lit up from that Vulcan shield as well, actually. So now we're down to about 30 seconds. Hicks get a free C4 over the church wall onto Pegu because he didn't check for a leisure mine. You know, you're not always going to. And as soon as the sound cue came that he got leisure mined, all they had to do was throw a C4 over on the pre-made hole above church wall. Boom, easy kill. So now the diffuser is in the Buck's hand. He decides to cook a grenade over the hole. Smart decision. Someone is almost always playing on that triple wall. And what you didn't see before was that they also made, from above in the kitchen hallway, they made a hole into armory from the hallway with the skeleton key. So Virtue grenades. And he goes for the plant. Now, this is such a weird spot to plant as well. Like, it's super exposed, but super not exposed all at once. The person in dirt tunnel comes to peek. You can't peek from dirt tunnel because the person on the hatch should be holding it. And actually, who kills him? Citizen does. Okay, so Citizen faked the plant. No, Citizen wasn't planting. No, that's right. Virtue had the diffuser on the weird spot where Ashwall is next to. And then Citizen is actually the one to drop from the hatch and walk in. And one's playing on the hatch as well, which I believe to be Uno. And of course, Kanto is pinching from blue. So even though they wasted a couple of bits of utility and they wasted a lot of time, G2 has enough game sense and enough ability to use what they've got to the best of their ability. And they didn't really have much. They really didn't. So when the armory plant happened, which it shouldn't have happened, Rogue had no opportunity to do anything because they were stuck in church. Now, there's a question in my chat. Wait, nobody on the hatch. I don't know where the hatch player is. So I've obviously just rewound this. But I want to obviously have a quick look. My understanding was Uno had to have been on it because he killed the person over near boxes. And to get that angle, you either have to be the bottom of main stairs or on the hatch. He's actually in. Or is that Kanto over there? I mean, it's a 1v4 diffuser planted. Let's go back. There's no hatch player. There's no hatch player. Uno was on the bottom of main stairs. Okay, wait. Virtue planting next to Ashwall. Citizen dropped the hatch? Yes, had to have dropped the hatch. So Citizen drops the hatch in a 1v5. Sorry, 1v5. A 4v5. I don't completely understand that. I don't understand dropping a hatch. I understand he got kills. Like we can see, he was able to get kills. And they actually thought the plant was going down there because I believe that Aces threw impacts right over there. So he actually threw impacts believing that that's where the plant was going down. But unnecessary to drop the hatch. Why? Because you can watch Dirt Tunnel from hatch super effectively. In fact, that's the safest spot to watch Dirt. You even had a player over in blue. So it didn't even matter. If you didn't want to watch Dirt, that's cool. You could have asked Kanto to watch Dirt. He was pretty lit though, so it is what it is. But no, in that circumstance, this player should not have dropped. Now, a lot of people say to me, and this is the one comment I get a lot, if it works, then it works. No, if something is fundamentally wrong, and just because you got lucky and got the kills doesn't mean it's the best option. Just because something worked for you doesn't mean it is the best option. So, I do not like that mentality from any player or any analyst or anything, that if something has worked for you, that it is the best option. I fundamentally disagree with it. Fundamentally. You should always have a plan in your head of the best. And I know this is going to sound like such a weird way to explain it, but I'm a criminologist, so I'm going to use my knowledge to try and relay it to you guys in a real life example. Is that in criminology, in my state, in my country, we use a what works model. It's where you employ a empirically researched method, even though you know that there might be a cheaper or a quicker or another way to do something. You employ the what works model because it's been proven to work 9 times out of 10. Now, there's no point doing the 1 time out of 10 just because you think that 1 time out of 10 might work. You could seriously stuff something up if you do that 1 out of 10. So this is why we talk about a what works model. And I like to bring that into Siege and think about Siege in the same method as saying, you could rush in and kill everyone and go, yeah, that's the method. But that's not what works 9 times out of 10. You got a 1 in 10 of that working. Why not play in a fashion that gives you a 9 times out of 10? Why not? So if 9 times out of 10, the best way to assist someone planting is having hatch angles, then why not do that? That's my argument. They had that round on lockdown. The beautiful hallway angle to stop anyone crossing over, and obviously Kanto was had blue control now, so he was able to then assist with sort of stopping dirt and everything like that. But there was fundamentally no reason to drop the hatch. So I would have much rathered him stay on the hatch, watch dirt, and then have Kanto walk in and challenge the person on boxes. Because the only thing that matters at that point is getting the plant down. If Citizen's still on the hatch, the plant goes down, but the planter dies after the plant's gone down, then it doesn't matter because he has the superior angle onto the diffuser. But if he is below, the planter dies and he is now alone on site with the person down on bottom stairs, and Kanto is so lit that he might die in a single bullet. That's not the play. You know what I mean? What I want to commend G2 on is that they lost a lot of utility. They lost a lot of ability. They lost a lot of time, and they made the best out of a pretty bad situation. That came off Virtue's back because he actually opened that hole next to Ashwall and decided that's where he's going to plant. So always think about on a best what works model. Where you can, use a what works model, because the 9 times out of 10 is the 9 times out of 10 for a reason. 9 times out of 10, a vertical angle onto someone, a downward angle onto someone is going to work far better than a one-on-one horizontal. That's been proven in this game time and time again. So that's what I wanted to point out about that. Rise actually was still alive in blue. So that actually makes my point even more viable, that he should have stayed on the hatch because blue was still alive. Yeah. What if Citizen had died there to the blue player? Let's assume that Citizen dies to the dirt player, which was Rips. Let's say Rips stays alive. Now he's alive in dirt, and there's no one on hatch to stop him. In fact, there's no one holding any angle on him to stop him. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm saying if Citizen didn't hit the headshot, what happens then? The whole problem there was Rips in dirt. My problem was you couldn't have been certain by dropping the hatch that you would kill the person in blue because there was also someone on AKs. Yes, Uno hit the perfect headshot, ended him perfect. That line of sight from bottom main stairs is a very, very meta default angle to hold. Perfect. But what if Citizen died to the dirt player? Then suddenly there's no one on hatch. There's no one able to hold the angle to stop him from shooting the diffuser planter. And there's someone still alive in blue. So super shout out to G2 who made work of a situation that was not ideal in that particular situation. They had dirt open, and I know that Pengu tried to challenge it. He actually sort of crawled in there and tried to challenge it. But then he turned around and went out. So I think there was a call for him to go to Moto instead or something. And now it goes to CC. Now, super disclaimer for this site. Okay, and actually I just want to say before that disclaimer, there's a lot of discussion in my chat about how the Legion actually would have had an angle on the diffuser planter, but they didn't spot him. They thought the diffuse planter was happening in default corner in Armory, but it was actually happening right next to Ash spot, deep Armory. So, had he have known that, he might have been able to get the kill, but he did get taken out by Uno on the main stairs. So, there's a lot of what ifs in our conversation right now. And it's important to know that, whilst that worked for them, it wasn't clean. It was definitely a messy fight to make that work for them. Now, disclaimer for CCTV, and this is what we spoke about at the very start of the match. As an attacking team, to breach CCTV and take Garage and then finally get a plant up there, it is extraordinarily difficult. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of utility, a lot of drones, a lot of gadgets and utility to do this. And you're asking a team who's not had a lot of time to practice together to be able to throw together a strong level of coordination. That's a lot to ask, I argue. Especially when you're going up against the Wamai. Now, this is where, unfortunately, and I had a gripe with Uno and Pengu not coordinating in the first round, and Pengu's exothermic getting destroyed. I had a gripe about that. That should be any Thatcher player's first thought, is that wait for me, wait for me, wait for me. Always should be the first thing they say, wait for me, wait for me, I'm going to EMP it, wait for me. Or the Habana or the Thermite should go, hey, let's go, I need you to double Thatcher this, let's go. So I have a gripe about that already. Again, synergy, coordination, give them time. Now, obviously, Rogue here are going to go for the Wamai Jaeger to stop all of the grenades or the Zofia charges or whatever. By the way, it is my deep understanding that this shield doesn't actually block a Zofia charge. I know a barricade does. I do not believe the shield in that full capacity blocks it every time. I know sometimes it does, but I don't believe every time. I would have to try this out in a custom game. That's something I'm going to have to jump in and give a go. Yeah, I want to shout out to, I know we're not going to talk about Rogue, but I want to shout out to that magnet here. It is under the full assumption that someone's going to come into blue and storage and shoot a impact up from below, and that could easily catch one of them, which could be a real detriment. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in from my live stream or you're watching this on YouTube, I have an activate Windows code in my email waiting to activate my Windows. As you can see, I prioritized my content today over activating my Windows. So please give me time to do that. I will do that. Now we see that defective org again. And the reason I call it defective is because on multiple matches throughout first play day, we saw everyone either get scammed or miss every single bullet with the org on Wamai. So, bit of a shame. Now look at this. Pengu drones into the drone hole. He sees the barricade there. He also sees the shield. Now, someone with Pengu's game sense knows instantly the first thing he needs to say to his team is, I need someone to go to CC window and shoot open the barricade. I need someone to shoot open the barricade. All right, that's the first thing you should be saying. Now watch this. If you're a Zofia player, ladies and gentlemen, please never shoot through a drone hole crouched. Never crouch to shoot through a drone hole. Never crouch to throw a grenade through a drone hole. Never crouch at all. Always prone. Why? Because I have seen time and time again from the tier 1 to tier 4 impacts, grenades, and concussions clipping on the side of a drone hole and bouncing back out. Never crouch, always prone. How did he get stunned if there's a shield there? What is that shield there for? I know we're not analyzing Rogue here today, ladies and gentlemen, but that is my question. Gets him again. I do hope for Rogue's sake that that shield isn't there to stop a concussion, because it is very common knowledge that only a barricade or a castle on the door of CC can do that. So, super confusing. Also, they had a Wamai. Why didn't the Wamai sit next to cash stairs or red stairs or whatever you might call it and continuously throw a Wamai next to the top of the barrier of cash stairs, so every time that a concussion went through, it got pulled towards cash stairs instead of towards the bandit trigger? Where did those... I know one of them went downstairs the bottom of cash, but... Okay, again, not here to analyze Rogue's gameplay. Alas, I believe that gave G2 far, far too easy of an entry into CC. You know, there's been like 30, 40 seconds gone since they made it to that wall, and they're able to get straight in. Now, here's where I get rather confused. G2 have been able to open the wall extraordinarily early on in the round. Extraordinarily early. You are laughing if you're an attacking team and you've opened the wall. We also know that Citizen, his first job as a Habana is to open up the top right corner of the garage wall on the south side to be able to watch the vault from garage window, I should say. God, I need more coffee, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 3 hours, 10 minutes of analysis, and I'm out of coffee. Nonetheless, this is open super early. You have so much time to play with. Okay, I understand you've lost a lot of drones. A lot of those drones have been taken out, a lot and a lot. So you've only got about 4 drones left. But 4 drones is a heck of a lot. So there's a lot you could be doing. Now you need to focus on garage, getting garage control. Because once this is open, you can watch the line of sight over on the rotate of garage. And all you need is people below and Virtue with his grenades, or maybe even a concussion if you got it. I doubt you would after the bandit trigger. Maybe a couple flashes of Citizen, for example, and you're laughing. You've got garage control. Now, this is where it starts to go wrong for G2. I don't know what happened to Virtue's grenades, but I believe he doesn't have any. And that's extraordinarily questionable. I understand the stalling out because I believe they've droned someone below. So what they're attempting to do is pinch them. The person below is actually irrelevant because they don't have a C4. So they are actually a little bit irrelevant. Kanto is able to take him out anyway. So that's okay. He's gone. But, okay, so he has 2 grenades. Virtue has 2 grenades at this point. So why are they across the other side of the map instead of focusing on garage? Why are you not, the moment CC walls open, why are you not instantly concerned with garage? That should be your instantaneous concern. Uno's on the roof. Thatchering. They're pinging something. I don't know what they're pinging. I don't know what they're trying to say. I believe there was a bulletproof up there, hence him using his impact. So I don't want people to just assume he used his impact for no reason. I believe there was bulletproof on the wall. He missed it though, by the looks of it. Yeah. Someone's bottom garage, someone's top. There is less than a minute left. What happened to the last minute? What happened to the last 60 full seconds of the round? Why? Why was Rogue allowed to have garage control for so long? What happened in G2's mind that they went, holy crap, we just got CCTV wall for friggin' free. We used 2 concussions and like 1 impact and boom, we're in. Rogue's bandit trick was not well prepared at all. It was underprepared. The Wamais were in the wrong spot. Everything wasn't working for them. Rise is already dead from trying to peek from storage. What takes you a minute of planning? Why is there a minute full of planning and talking and communicating or something? And there's someone in my chat that says maybe they were confused and decided to try and attack construction, but they changed their mind. No one who gets a free CCTV wall is confused. No one. Not at this level of play. No one is confused about what to do. Because the moment you have CCTV wall open, the next thing, this isn't a preference thing. This is a must do. This is a must do thing. Is to take garage control. Okay? Virtue has 2 grenades. They have the Habana hole open. Where in G2's plan did this go wrong? I would love to know what happened in their comms, because there's multiple people who've been on the roof for a minute and a half. A minute and a half. There has to be some disjointed communications at this point for this to go this wrong for that long. So they've wasted 60 full seconds, which is a long time in Siege. Long. The drone comes out from Virtue, and where did Kanto just die from? Okay. He jumped out of storage. That's almost karma, I would say. I would say it's karma that Hicks gets to jump out of storage and take out Kanto Ricketti repelling on platform, because if you're going to waste over a minute on your garage take, then the defenders are allowed to run around for free. They're allowed to run around for absolute free. So not surprised about that. Now the problem is garage control, and they have 30 seconds left. What happened to the minute 40 they had? What happened to that? That just went up in the air as a time for them to discuss and get confused by each other. Now I want to know, now that Virtue's finally decided he's going to buck in, I believe, or was it thermited open? Whatever it was, he's going to enter below. And look at all the rogue players. They're literally just sitting on site. They're having a grand old time because they're not being pressured at all yet. They still have garage control. Why? Why there? Why there? Why did the grenade go there? You have a drone. You have a drone. You have ears. He's not playing there. Of course he's playing here. There's no garage door pressure, so of course he's playing up here. So there goes one grenade wasted. Did he peek without using his second grenade? Again. Defective org doesn't work. He gets his kill, but I want to go back and see, does he have his second grenade? No, he doesn't. Where did that other one go? I don't understand a lot of that. I don't understand why you're only now pushing in to garage with 10 seconds left. I have so many questions because the way that Rogue gave up that wall should have meant that was an easy round for G2. They had so many people alive to help them take garage that the fact that there was no push until less than a minute means they wasted more than 60 seconds taking garage after they opened CCTV. I don't know what was happening on the roof with Uno. He'd used his EMPs, so now he becomes a fragger. Once you've used your EMPs, you either become a droner or you become a fragger. You have no other use. You can also be a flank watcher, of course. But at that point, he'd done his job with his EMPs, so the threat of him dying and losing utility isn't there anymore. So why the garage take didn't happen is beyond me. That was a free round for G2. Super free round. And there's something I talk about in attack called phasing. And it's something that I teach to my players heavily. And when I was coaching Pro League and when I was coaching, back with Samsung Italy and stuff, it was one thing that my players, they could probably tell you verbatim how annoying I was with it. But I used to say to them, what's phase 1? And they'd say, open up CC wall. And I'd say, okay, what's phase 2? Someone needs to be standing outside the Habana hole. Someone needs to be standing outside garage door. Someone needs to be droning, and someone needs to exothermic, or if it's soft, buck in through the left-hand side of garage. And then once we know where they are, we're going to flash and we're going to push in together. We're going to grenade, and when they stand up, we're all going to shoot at the same time. That's phase 2. Phase 3, it's someone else replaces someone on the platform. The person on platform runs into plant behind default bomb. Someone stands on catwalk, and someone watches bottom catwalk. So there are phases to an attack. And on a map like Clubhouse, they're the most obvious. It's the most obvious as to what phase you should be on, or what step of the attack you should be on. So they had to have been confused. I'm going to put it down to confusion. I'm going to put it down to lack of intel somehow. I don't know how, but I'm going to say that. And I want to put it very clearly is that you've got a team full of absolutely skilled players that make it one of the most stacked lineups ever. And to see them do the round like that means they're overthinking, or there's a lack of synergy or coordination in there somewhere, or confusion, which is such a shame because they're so primed to be a great team. Again, first game back, give them benefit of the doubt there. Those guys, it takes months to synergize with other players. The months. I can't stress that. So they're doing really good. But that push really confused me, really strongly confused me. Now we go on to the next site. And of course, Rogue decide we're going to go back downstairs. This confused me. And I was silent there because I was trying to work out how I'm going to explain this to you. They knew on the very first round that Rogue played and effectively Kaid tricked a hatch. They just won CC, and their first pick was downstairs, so it's obviously one of their preferred sites. Why there is no Thatcher on the attacking lineup blows my mind. What would you have done? What would you do if they had if G2 was lucky that Rogue didn't run a Kaid. What goes through your mind to think that they're going to go bedroom or something? And even still, if they go bedroom, what if they bring a Kaid and you can't shoot it? Or you can't impact it, or you can't something. And then you've got to use a lot of utility. So I don't understand why there's no Thatcher. It's not banned. Their primary first pick was downstairs. On their very first round, they picked Kaid. And as G2, you're damn lucky they didn't pick Kaid this time. Very damn freaking lucky. I've never seen such luck. You know what I mean? It's like, you can tell now Rogue are going to do with the castle, they're going to do a bar hold. But I don't understand that. I don't understand this being a sledge instead of a Thatcher. I don't understand that whatsoever, really. Oh, so lucky they're doing an upstairs hold. Really lucky. I'm still sitting here in disbelief, ladies and gentlemen, because that's so, how lucky can you be that they are clearly going downstairs and you don't take a Thatcher and they don't take a Kaid? Like, whew. And people are like, yeah, but they saw yeah, but there's 6-pick. Like, there's 6-pick. Anyway, with luck on their side, G2 is now very possibly able to take this with more proficiency than they would have been able to had there have been a Kaid. I don't know, maybe G2 can just like mind read or something. I don't know. As per usual, I believe the first thing that Pengu does is open up dirt. I think he always does that. The calls have clearly come out that it is a bar hold because you can see people moving upstairs. Yep. I don't want people to be like, oh, they brought the sledge because of the castle. They couldn't have known they were going to bring a castle. You don't see each other's lineup until you've both picked your lineup. Just to make that very clear. This. I have a huge gripe with this. I started this analysis between G2 and Rogue with this sentiment, and I'm going to speak about this sentiment again. No fragger should be droning themselves. Now, there's so many people who've tried to argue this with me, and it is something I am so fundamentally against. I'm fundamentally against roam clearers droning themselves. I don't see a necessity for it. And this possibly is because I'm so ingrained in things like phasing and step-by-step on attack. You know, number one, if they're roaming and you want to clear them, phase number one, get the drones out, get the roam clearers in, clear the roamers, and get your refrags or trades or whatever, etc. And clean up whatever is left over after that. But a roam clearer should push with a roaming buddy and have their support players or their flexes droning for them so they don't need to get on and off a drone consistently. We've seen some of the best teams in the world drone each other. SSG, for example, they've got some of the best hot droning in the world. It's why they're world champions, right? They've got some of the best hot droning in the world. Thinking Nave, for example, is a really prime example of a player who knows how to drone for his fraggers. Now, I don't, and like I said at the start of the round, I don't mind a roam clearer droning the initial room that they enter. I don't mind that, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just going to check that this room that I'm entering to start off with is cleared. Cool, no problems. But no roam clearer can effectively roam clear by droning themselves. Like, you drone someone, they shoot your drone, and then you start running at them, and that roamer's moved. This is why we see hot droning be such a specialty with some teams, is you are listening to your teammates saying, oh yeah, I can hear him just around the corner. Are you guys ready? I'm going to ping him. I'm going to start checking where he is. And they're moving up, and you've got two people there, one to refrag and etc. Right? So there's multiple ways to go about it. What Kanto's done is looked on his own drone. He knows that someone's up here and he's decided to, one, push solo, and two, drone that information himself. All this player had to do was shift his position. Got droned? No problems. Shift position. You know how Kanto can't know that he's moved? Because he can't drone and move at the same time. So I just, it is personal opinion, but I think face checking something, because that's essentially what you're doing. When you drone someone and you get off a drone, the time period between you getting off the drone and you actually coming in contact with that player could be multiple seconds in a row. And in multiple seconds, a defender will move. A defender will pick a new angle. A defender will something. And this player actually stood dead smack in the middle of the window. So this I had a gripe with. I had a huge gripe with this. Shouldn't have happened. Should not have happened. He shouldn't have died to the Mozzie. Now, I don't know where the other support / flex players are and what they're doing at this current time. But if I go back 5 seconds, I know for a fact there's 2 people roaming upstairs. So they have to be the priority. If you're roam clearing, they are the priority. So I just don't understand why there's not 2 of them roam clearing them with a drone. Where are the other players? There's someone in my chat who said Zofia could have impacted the wall and got the kill. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rise gets the kill onto Kanto. He then rotates into Garage. Aces gets the C4 onto Virtue, which I would have loved to have seen, actually. Virtue, that is the shape of Buck, isn't it? So he's over in construction. And Aces C4s him from the rotate of Cash stairs. He does get traded by Uno downstairs, who's on a rotate cut, which is this where Uno is right now is great. This is a rotate cut spot, because if they come down Cash stairs, you can see it. If they come down Garage stairs into Lounge, you can see it. If they go down into Oil Pit and up here, you can see it. So it's a good spot. Okay, so Citizen was over on Jacuzzi to cut the rotate this way. And where was Virtue? He was pinching. Okay, so I do want to do a little disclaimer there, because I do want to back myself up a couple of steps. Virtue was in construction, pinching from the other side with Kanto. And I say with very loosely there. They were not in a close enough fashion to refrag each other. They also didn't have a drone to give them enough intel. They also didn't open up anything. I actually want to make a bigger point of that, is that had Virtue gone to platform wall and bucked that open, then and kept Kanto in Garage with a drone, then they would have had a free kill onto Rise. Free as day. And then they could have moved in together and tried to clear the mute on Cash theirs. They may have traded back and forth, but at least there would have been trades. I like that Pengu challenged this, but I also am worried because he has, and I didn't notice this before, he has both exothermics. So he clearly didn't even open dirt. So I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know if like that's part of their strat not to open dirt because they don't want anyone to run from dirt to kitchen. Super unorthodox, but I don't know what that's about. I don't know how many X-Gyros Citizen has left either. They're very lucky because there's no Kaid, but I was going to say there's no Thatcher. So I don't know if I was Pengu, why I would challenge this. I liked that he challenged it because that's a really good way to stop the person from impact tricking. But this goes on from the fact of what I said before about perceived pressure. If they opened dirt and pretended like they were going to push, it's still perceived pressure. Then the defenders have to think, oh, guys, be careful. Dirt's open, dirt's open, dirt's open. At this point in time, if you're a defender, you're feeling Gucci because nothing's opened above you. You have no perceived pressure on you at the moment. Uno runs wildly into blue. Now, I'm going to take a moment to... Dirt may be muted. Okay. Someone in my chat just said Dirt might be muted because obviously Aces is on the mute. There's a drone hole in Dirt and there's nowhere you can place the mute that gets both walls that you can't shoot from the drone hole. So I don't believe that would be a viable enough counter. Now, if Uno's on his own here, I'm going to kind of question why. Okay, yes, he's on his lonesome in blue. There's over a minute left. They could have gathered the drones that they had and recollected themselves. They had 2 hard breaches left. There was no need for Uno to push down on his own. He got 1 kill out of it, but when you're a 3v4, is 1 kill and then you die really worth it? Like, is it really worth it? Oh, that timing. And I wanna, give props to Rogue. That timing of this flank up these main stairs is phenomenal. He actually let the person of the Habata go upstairs without challenging them, and then challenged Pengu in kitchen. This is what I meant by if you're a 3v4 or 3v5, you need to recollect yourself, regain the information by droning, open some, hatches and some walls up, and then try and take the picks. Now, this round actually plays out really well. They're both so super lit, and Rips is full health. He has both impacts, which I would have liked to have seen him use. He does use it because there's actually, if we go back, there's actually no rotate into blue. There is a little one here, but a proper one, a big one. Beautiful shot by Rips there. I was confused, and I would like to talk about this with my chat, and I know this is going on YouTube later, so sorry that this is a chat engagement here. Why did they know he's in the other side, right? He shot through the blue wall from church. They know he's in church. So there's only one way he can come from, the hallway, all from blue. Why did Uno decide with a slither of health to prone here right next to the diffuser planter? What if Rips had have gone blue? What if he had decided to go to the rotate, go to the door, and shoot them both? They're both like 1 bullet of death away. Why didn't Sledge move to what we call the triangulation hold? They know that he has to come from here. So here's the precipice, the point of the triangle. Why didn't he hold a triangulation of some kind which would allow him to hold multiple angles? Why did he lay on the floor here? Now, we do need to go back and check because I'm 90% sure there is a rotate into blue. A very small crouch one. There. I believe that's a rotate. I can't tell with the... Is it? It's hard to tell from this angle if it is a crouch rotate or not. It is awfully, awfully unlikely that those holes are just there from shooting at them. Possibly there's no rotate because he does throw an impact after. So let's go with the benefit of the doubt. There's no rotate there, so the sledge can be sure that no one's going to come from blue. But his planter is behind the box. So if no one can come from blue, why don't you go stand and run over here and cover the door from that angle? Again, in a stress situation, you're going to pick whatever you think the right option is at the time. So I cannot blame Uno. He was low health, so running across the door probably isn't super viable. Yeah. It's just hard because Rips has 2 impacts. Imagine he threw an impact over and down them both. You know what I mean? I don't know. There was a lot more options in there I felt could have been had. That round barely going to rogue, but goes to show how a round can swing one way very quickly when you don't take a breath. G2 would have spoken about that previous round, how slow they were, how they wasted an entire minute doing nothing. Yes, there's a question, why didn't Rips impact and everything? And like I said earlier on in the analysis, I'm not here to analyze Rogue. I'm here to analyze G2 for you guys. Yes, Rips 1000% should have impacted. There should have been calls from his team that they were lit. Nonetheless, yeah. Uno was lit. He knew he couldn't run across, so he couldn't have gone there. I just don't think proning on the ground was the right choice. Nevertheless, they couldn't have known that they would lose that engagement either. So it's super tricky. That's a super tricky engagement to analyze, and I don't think anyone was necessarily in the wrong or in the right there. Now, what would have come down to that when Uno came rushing down into blue by himself? That was a wrong decision. That one I can say safely. They had over a minute left. They had 2 hard breaches alive and a person with a pretty capable fragging weaponry. Why did they not wait and drone? Why did they not try and, open up some hatches, get some lines of sight, drop, hold angles, and plant? Instead, people ran by themselves, and this is what was fundamentally wrong and that we don't want to see G2 devolve into is having super, super capable, mechanically skilled fraggers who, instead of using that fragging skill and buddying up, using a buddy system, why don't they use a buddy system and use 2 sets of godly fraggers when they're roam clearing or crossfiring or pinching or whatever? And they did try and do that. I do want to say they did try and do that. They had Virtue in construction, they had Kanto in garage, and they were trying to pinch cash. But you didn't open anything up. You went to a door. You went to a window. You didn't use your utility. You know what I mean? And out of all the operators on the attacking lineup, Buck and Zofia have a lot of damn utility. So you gotta use it. You gotta pinch. You have to play as a team. There has to be more coordination. And like I said at the start of this analysis, they will over time get more synergy and more coordination. We got to give them time. Now going into the 4th round, Rogue decide to go gym, bedroom. Because of course, they're not going to pick bar unless they've got something nifty up their sleeve. And the first thing they do is open up all the hatches. And that's can be often really dangerous for defenders, is if you open up the hatches and like attackers come from below and they can hold a lot of really critical angles and stuff like that. But that's not going to be the default push for most attackers. They're not going to come into this going, oh, I want to take bottom floor and hold through a hatch. I mean, that's not going to be the default push. They're going to be worried about jacuzzi wall. They're going to be worried about, or if they do a cash push, they're going to be worried about construction. And which it does look to be a cash hold, so. This round, fingers crossed, we see the team. Let me just back that up a second. Citizen has made the call during prep phase that Bandit is not on the wall. And if he throws an EMP, he can get both of those Bandit charges. Now, let me make this very clear. Thatcher is an almost OP operator. He has a click and deploy gadget that destroys so much shit. You can destroy so much shit with one EMP. Why? Why did Uno have to rush that? Why? Let's get our pen out. Let's say the EMP lands here. It gets these two, but it doesn't get this ADS that's sitting here. We need to see where this lands. But just because he's not there in the prep phase to Bandit trick doesn't mean he's not going to be there. Why wouldn't you do the default EMP of corner jacuzzi, which gets both and ADSs? I feel like every EMP should be treated like a fucking nugget of gold. You know what I mean? Like, treat that thing like a diamond. If you're throwing that thing down, you better hope that it's pinpoint precision. That's going to hit the left-hand side of the wall. That's careless. To me, that's careless. And I do want to state out, ladies and gentlemen, again, I know for people on YouTube, you've obviously watched from the start, but people who are joining my stream, what we are doing today is we're picking one team from both matches that I've analyzed, and we are only focusing on that one team. I'm not analyzing Rogue and their gameplay in any way. I am purely talking about one team. Last game, there was a lot of criticism for BDS. I love BDS. I love BDS dearly. I'm really upset that they are making the silly mistakes they're making because they could be a great team. G2, they're in super early stages. They're in super early stages of the entire remake of their team. So we have to accept that my analysis, although sounding overly harsh, I have a lot of love for this roster. A lot. I don't want anyone to think that my criticism of their gameplay, of which is early, non-synergized days of them playing. This is me providing analysis on a team that is not in its purest form yet, at all, whatsoever. So, this is not to down them in any way. I said from the very beginning, this is one of the most stacked lineups that's ever existed in Siege's entire competitive existence. Ever. And I'm happy to put my entire bank on that. Happy. But we must give them time. So, I don't want anyone to think that I'm being overly critical of G2. My job of analyzing this is to just pretty much give you guys what went right, what went wrong. That EMP could have been very bad for them. Why? Because they've got a Maestro on the board. Why is that important? Because you only have 2 impacts and 2 grenades to get rid of them, and you have a ADS. So then you need to get rid of the flashes out. There's a lot of utility used to get rid of one Evil Eye these days. So you cannot be careless with EMPs because they're like gold. They can destroy Evil Eyes. They can destroy ADSs, bandit batteries, everything. They can destroy everything. So they must be treated like gold. And so to see one thrown and like I said, the arc on this, so if you're throwing this like this, that's going to come landing on the left-hand side. And if, like I said before, if there's an ADS next to the castle, that won't get EMP'd. And you then can't grenade or Zofia the drone hole. So there are implications of being lazy with one piece of utility. You can see the SSG hold coming out. And Citizen takes out Rise. Not a surprise. I don't like, and this is me, this is a personal opinion. This is where you guys can judge me if you want. I don't like people who peek Jacuzzi from Strip. You know, we impact open the wall, you do a punch hole or whatever, or run out from the back of Strip. And I actually prefer the run out from the back of Strip. I find that to be far safer, far more superior. People who impact in the middle of Strip, most of the time I've ever watched, it's not really ever been effective. Not really ever been effective, so I'm not a huge fan of that. Of course, they're going to go for the cash side by the looks of it. I'm a little bit confused by this. That is very clearly Citizen on the Habana. Yes, Citizen. Yep. Citizen's on the Habana at the Jacuzzi wall. There's been one EMP that I've seen so far expended. And it was onto the wall with the bandits. I don't see, and usually you can see like the outline. I don't see any outline there of Aces there because, oh, obviously he's down here. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long 4 hours. So obviously the bandit's not there to bandit trick. Don't know why. Mistake from Rogue, but we're not here to analyze Rogue. Mistake from Rogue. Why? Because there's nothing there to stop you bandit tricking Aces. You just don't know it. Now, they must have opened that wall because he wasn't there to bandit trick. Yeah, they must have opened that wall into Jacuzzi with the Excairos. See, like, if that was properly countered by Rogue, like if they actually had aces sit there and Bandit Trick because they had nothing to counter it, they would have had to rotate Kandaraketi over. And of course Virtue to grenade the drone hole and use a whole other EMP to get rid of the ADSs as well, just to get that wall open for Citizen. Ooh, Virtue gets lit up there. Did he not drone? He has a drone in his pocket. Did he not drone when he went into stock? That person was in lounge. No, he was in cash theirs. Wait, what is that? Go back, go back, go back. Okay, so he was cash theirs. Okay, he just made it. I thought he messed up his Excairos. But no, it was shots for the Bandit Trick, which didn't happen. Where's the person holding the lounge drone so that Virtue can do this? How he doesn't die is beyond me. Corey lights him up to like 1 HP though. Jesus Louise. Rips takes out Uno. Where was Uno? Where was Uno? That's confusing. Why is Pengu on site? What? They just ran onto site. Okay, so the call has obviously come out from Virtue that there is one down engaging him. Right, so there's already one dead. There's one down engaging Virtue, so he's off site. There's one in cash that they know of, so he's off site. Aces, they don't actually know where he is, so they're taking a guess. And Rips, they know is in stock. So that decision to move in, I assume Citizen and Pengu, was based off the decision that there would be maximum 2 people on site. That's a rough decision. I don't disagree with it. How did Aces die? Where did Aces die? From Uno. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Aces was on main stairs. Uno kills him. He gets traded by Rips. Pengu trades straight back on. And they have sight. Citizen still holding the prone hole or thereabouts, surely, on Jacuzzi. Yes, he is. I would love to know whose call it was to do that. I wonder, and what time frame was that? Okay, so they weren't less than a minute. There was no time, actually, when they started. There was no time pressure on them to speed that up. So whoever's decision it was to say, hang on, one's downstairs and one's in cash and one's in storage, and the other must be, I don't know, near the breach or something like that, let's say, on Jacuzzi wall. So Clearly, there was an executive decision either made from either of the breaches, I'm going to say, or either Uno as well, because he did take the first pick to get onto site. I really like that. This is what I mean by players like Pengu, who have just some of the best game sense that has ever existed in this game, is they can make split-second analysis on the situation at that time, and they come out on top. They come out absolutely on top. And it's that smart kind of gameplay that over time, once these guys synergize, it's like they're going to become the new Empire. You know what I mean? They're just going to become terrifying. If they start to fix their utility usage and their coordination with their utility, they will be a scary team. A little bit more droning would be nice too. And stop droning for themselves the whole time. Would also be lovely too. Now CCTV again. This time, fingers crossed, Ace is actually bandit tricks because, oh, they don't have a 1-eye. Oh, well, I take it back. Oh, thank goodness. I was like, wait, you need a 1-eye, sir. Now I hope, fingers crossed, want to see how G2 deal with a proper 1-eye setup. Proper. I'm not talking like how Rip stuffed it up in like the first round or whatever it was, and he put them both downstairs or whatever. He must have assumed they would go underneath and try and impact from underneath. He misinterpreted that, counter-shredded that, I think. I want to see how G2 do against a proper CCTV setup. And I believe this is the round where Rogue actually do it. Some good Vulcan shields around from Corey. Again, I know we're not here to analyze Rogue. I just don't understand this. I'm sorry. It was proved in the first round that he could still get concussed even with that there. So why it's there, I don't know. He still puts one of his 1-eyes down there, but I hope he uses the rest for the drone hole because he knows G2 can cuss the drone hole. So, for the love of God, Rips is a great player. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. He uses his magnets as intended on the drone hole. We'll have to see. No. What are you doing? That's going to bounce. What are you... Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No. No, no. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, I'm gonna go back. It's like replaying a nightmare, but here we go. No. Uno, no. Put it in reverse, Terry. God damn. I got tears in my eyes. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, no. That could not be further away from where possible 80. I can't even get my pen far enough down. Let's just actually, no, let's just do it in that direction, but much further in that direction. There absolutely will be a magnet or an ADS or something Oh, no, I really hope he gets a little bit more practice with the Thatcher, because you got to treat those EMP like gold mines, you know what I mean? And I mean, even just throw it on the roof, even that would have been better than that. That makes me sad for Uno, especially because quite clearly he's not feeling that comfortable on this operator. I mean, someone has to play it, but oh, no, it gets worse. It gets worse. Oh no, I definitely needed a coffee before going into this like fifth round. Let me guess. I'm going to take a guess because I said this a few rounds ago. Never crouch and try and concuss a drone hole. I've seen it clip the drone hole more times than not. Now, I can't see him. Is he? He's crouching. Motherfuck. Okay. Please, public service announcement. When you grenade or concuss a drone hole, for the safety of not clipping the drone hole, please prone, if you can, which you can. Nothing stops you. Oh. Did he shoot two at the same time? Wait, did he shoot both at once? We need sound on for this. Was that one or two? Oh God. Oh God, it gets worse. Yes, I'm so sorry to all of you who didn't have the audio just then. Let me replay that for you.
So used to throughout Invitational. Yeah, Maverick's been banned, so you won't be seeing any of those Maverick tricks that we've been so used to throughout Invitational.
I believe it was one, because look what happens next. Now, I know I don't have my cam on. But, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what is wrong with this image. I'm going to call this a cursed image. There is one obvious problem with this cursed image. It's very cursed, and it's very obvious, and it's very sad. Ladies and gentlemen, he used both of his concussions on a barricade. Now, I get it. Sometimes you make a mistake, right? Like sometimes you miss drone, you go too fast, you do one step before the other step that you're meant to do. I'm going to point out another. This is a very cursed image that I've actually paused it on. You know those like that Twitter page where it's like moments before disaster? This is one of those images. Moments before disaster. There's a drone here that hasn't droned. into the drone hole? Surely not, because if they did drone, they would have seen the big fat barricade. So cursed here, cursed here, cursed here, cursed here. Yeah. Anyway. This is a sad picture as well as a cursed picture, as well as a moments before disaster picture. And the sad part about this was that not only was the EMP thrown over here, and I actually can't see if there's an ADS over here or whatever, right? Like, we can't tell. It doesn't matter anyway, because the barricade's here. It stops the concussions. Yeah. A lot of people think they can shoot the concussions through the barricade. It doesn't always work like that. 9 times out of 10, people just come to the CC window and they just shoot it open. Or you can impact through and open it that way, but that's a bit of a waste. So, yeah, that's a huge shame. Right. This time, Uno throws a EMP on the roof. And he gets rid of how many? You actually can't see there. Okay. Does Aces still have... He does. Oh, they kai'd it underneath. Oh, so there was even a backup plan for the backup plan. And now they know they have to rotate. So it's only been 30 seconds, so it's fine. They can rotate. Nothing stops them from rotating. Citizen's been told that the rotate is going to happen, so he gets off the Habana hole. And the rotate begins. That's okay. Sometimes that happens. What? Oh, it's a C4. I was like, wait, what? Okay, so they rotate. Smart decision. Couldn't get the main wall, no problems. Time to rotate, easy. Wait. Is he still trying to get garage? With CC wall closed? Okay. I guess, like, you can pinch that way. Okay. What? Don't pick that. Please. Okay. A little bit of confusion. That's okay. That's okay. Pengu's still alive. He can get the wall. Oh, he can't get the wall. Okay, now he can't get the wall because there's an electric claw on it. That's okay. Oh, Buck's underneath. Hey, he can displace people. Okay, they're running out of time at this point. Okay, so that was good that Citizen stayed at garage. Oh, they just ran in. They just ran in. Someone just asked me in chat, what picture is more cursed, that one or the BDS electric bandit wire on theme park? I don't know yet. I've saved both. We'll see. That round was so utterly confusing to me. I actually don't know how to analyze it. I can analyze the first half of it, but this is what people talk about when like you've got a team full of really competent, mechanically skilled fraggers. I guess when worse comes to worse, you can just overwhelm the site and be the better shot. The main door got bugged, and it's been happening to a lot of people recently. Yeah, look, when you have nothing left, like you can't open any wall, you can't do anything, then your only option is to run in and frag. Like that's it. I actually want to check something though. I don't think they're going to show it. Maybe not. There's always so many players left with like flashes and stuff in their pockets. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you have no option. If your strategy doesn't work, you have no option but to overwhelm the site. There is no other options at that point. So I agree with the way that they went about it at the end. I just don't agree with everything that happened before they had to do that. So that was really confusing. Downstairs again for Rogue. GT gonna go again. Go again. All right, let's see how this goes for them this round. I like that Virtue has this like drone pattern that he follows. Like he drones in through stocks, makes sure lounge and stock are clear, checks it, you know, gives the call to his team. That's good. I'm not sure about the suppressor on the bearing, but each to their own, each to their own. Oh, the call comes out about hey, someone's droning him. That's cute. Yes, let's get it. They give him the intel that there's a camera. There you go. You got it. Where was that? And where's the refrag? Oh. Damn, Rise. Just let it go, bro. Go back to site. Good refrag, though. Oh. Aces was too far away to impact trick. No. Free hatch for G2. Free hatch. Oh, no. Not again. Another cursed image. Ready? No, go back. Cursed image number 2. Cursed image number 2. Please, chat, name what happened in this cursed image at 1 minute 36 seconds. What is this cursed image? Oh, it's all right. So I let it out. I let it out. My favorite part of that cursed image is how he looks at him. I love how he just looks at him like, bruh, you all good over there? You good? You want my help? EMPs? Nah, bro, laters. I just want to state that G2 got so lucky this round. Like, Aces was too far away to bandit trick. Luckily, got the hatch open in kitchen. Hicks, too far away to Kaid trick again. Usually he is in there Kaid tricking. They get the hatch open. My God. Like, they were being gifted freebies. And I'm not sure what happened. Kaid is there. Did the hatch get Kaid tricked? Did Pengu go through this again? Oh, I can get it. I can see it. I can pause it directly on the moment. That's closed. Oh, I've just not had enough coffee. I just haven't. There's not enough coffee beans in the world to rectify the way I feel. I feel like I am so cursed at this moment that I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to fucking wake up on the ceiling midway through an Exorcist. Like, I'm actually just going to wake up like that girl off the movie The Exorcist. I'm going to be on the fucking roof doing 360s and like spitting from my eyeballs or something. That's how cursed I am now. Let's just continue. Like, G2's they've got such good players. They've got such good players. Again, for the third time, they have such good players. How can you do that? How can you make those kind of mistakes? Like, I'm genuinely upset for them because I have stated for the moment they announced the new roster how fucking stacked they are and how ecstatic I am that they exist. Oh. And again, they go for the plant. They just drop down. Like, they have nothing but kitchen hatch. They have nothing but kitchen hatch again. Again. And they just make it work. I don't understand. What? Who was protecting? No one was on the hatch! Again! 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 I am so cursed, I may as well be sent to the depths of hell. I can't. They're so good. And this was so not good. Oh. Holy Mother of God. Holy Mother of God. Someone is planting under the hatch and no one is on the hatch. Where's the flank drone? Oh, they must have had one because he heard him coming. I don't understand. I have so many questions. I have so many questions. How? Maybe Uno always stays on main stairs, right? So how many players did they have when Pengu was planting? 3. Where was Kanto? 4. four. They have four. They have four full players, four entire bodies, four absolute gunners. And where were they? Where was Citizen? Where? Tell me where this man is. Who's that? That looks like Uno. That looks like a Thatcher. Fine. That is the right angle to hold. Kanto is usually a blue. One on the hatch, one planting. Yes? Yes? He jumped down again. I'm done. No. No. Just end the fucking stream. No. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. He dropped again. He dropped again. He did it again. He did it again. The one round where he dropped and he got those lucky kills onto blue and fucking dirt, and he thinks he can repeat it. This is what I meant by saying you should not do something just because it worked once. No. I can't stress it enough. That hatch, that angle, that post plant, like even if Pengu dies after planting, who gives a fuck? Who actually gives a flying fuck if he dies? Because the plant is down under the hatch. You have such a superior angle. No. I'm terribly upset. I'm so terribly upset because, and again, we say that we need to give them time to synergize and everything like that. Absolutely. This is like a fucking brand new team. I don't doubt that. I have agreed from the very beginning of this analysis that they absolutely need time to synergize and coordinate and work out their strats and work each other out and maybe role selection and all those things. But these players are veterans. Some of these players are veterans. Some of these players are absolute gods. All of these players come from Pro League teams. All of them. None of them have been brought in from like lower tiers or anything like that. They're all Pro League players. And I strongly feel like some of the decisions made cost them rounds that I think should have been easy for them. I don't know how to feel. Uno did the right thing. Kind of. Rotating up onto the hatch. I mean, it's a 1v3. Like, what is the right thing in that? What is the right thing to do? I don't know. Yeah, they must have had a draw in there because he went up to watch the... I'm a little bit silent right now, ladies and gentlemen, because it's been an absolute roller coaster ride that I've been through in the last few minutes. Actually, the last 15 to 30 minutes has been a roller coaster for my emotions because I'm so conflicted. This doesn't seem to me like G2. Sorry, let me rephrase that. This doesn't seem to me like the list of absolute god names I see on this lineup. I'm blown away by it. I really am. I'm absolutely blown away. The switch does come now, so G2 is on defense, and we get to see their defensive setups for Clubhouse, and it's already looking super interesting. You see that that main stair window castle, so that means that they are going to be holding upstairs. The Vigil, obviously for roaming. Cantor on the Mozzie. That gives him the ability to roam or utilize his C4. Yeah, they're doing a top floor hold. Okay, cool. What is Corey looking at? Why is he looking at the castle like that? Okay. Oh, good kill on the rips. I wonder how he got that. Like, did he just jump out or like what? I mean, we miss out on what that is, but it's huge to get your Zofia off the board too. Ooh. A miskill. Why did he... okay. Was that the player upstairs? Had to have been. Ooh. Oh, the plant's going down? Jesus Lord, okay. Where's the plant going down? In the... What happened to Uno on site? Oh, he died. Yikers. Oh, golly. Okay, good shot, good shot. Oh, Hicks, Jesus. Huh. There wasn't anything fundamentally wrong. Like, there wasn't anything fundamentally wrong with the setup of G2. It's just that Rogue read into it and decided to go straight onto side and plant. That's often a great counter to a really extended, spread out hold, is that if you go straight to side and hold the flanks or hold the rotates back, then you're able to effectively hold off. So that was a pretty clean round from both teams, actually. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to analyze that because both teams actually played it pretty all right. So not much to put on from there. And I do want to note that a lot of people ask, does Virtue even live in Germany? Yes. Virtue has moved to Germany. He wouldn't be able to play otherwise. There's a ping rule. He moved to Berlin well before all the other players and well before, obviously, all the flying restrictions came in. That was actually a pretty all right round from all concerned, even though G2 lost. It was not bad. Now, it'd be really interesting to see how they hold CC. Let me see the Virtue on mute. Uno on Bandit. Cantor on Jaeger. Okay. Citizen on the flex, not surprised. Yeah, going to Valkyrie. Like I said, he's a great Valkyrie player, so that's not a surprise to me. Okay. Really, really interested to see how they hold this. Really, really. I don't know how proficient Uno is on bandit tricking. My assumption that's what they're going with. Little bit confused why there's a mute. I mean, the Valkyrie's fine, maybe even a mute or a smoke, and instead there should be a Wamai. Because they're not going to be able to hold this wall. There's no way to hold the wall. They don't even have a castle, you know what I mean? Like how do they expect to hold the wall? I don't know. Again, we'll watch it out, but I don't know how you expect to hold that wall effectively. All right. This is where a lot of the time I will rate a team on how well they can hold CC. You know, if we're looking at Clubhouse and how they play it, a lot of the time I often work out how well a team can operate on this given map by how they hold CC. Oh, another sort of toss. That was a better toss. Uno, what? Uno, what? You weren't even... Kanto... Okay, Uno, listen. Buddy, Kanto is next to the drone hole to... Uno is next to the drone hole to tank the concussions for you. So when it goes in, they concuss him instead of you. That's why you're not concussed. That's why you're not concussed. Why did you leave when you were Where'd it go back? What? Oh, and Kanto's doing a beautiful job of ADS tricking. Kanto's even ADS tricking for you. Did you get was there a confusing sound cue? Did you think the wall was already opening? And then he goes to come back. No. No. Let's just keep watching. Well, they still have garage control. Oh, that Habana on that wall was really good. Well done, Hicks. I like that. Oh, that would have been an awesome flick. Wait, is garage clear? Did he just leave garage? What the fuck am I looking at? Did the attackers just become the defenders? What am I looking at? Cursed image number 8. I need to understand. Pengu looks like he's in garage. Yes? In fact, he looks like he's in bottom garage. I mean, nonetheless, he's in garage. There is garage presence. Citizen kills Rise, who had to have been on like platform or something, right? Let's say that. Virtue has no idea Aces jumped in the window. Okay. Fair enough. Aces is pretty ballsy like that. He gets out. Someone's downed. Citizen is downed. Okay. Aces gets back in. Okay. Are you planting? Whose C4 was that? Uno's? That was Uno's from underneath. Or at least he's underneath with the C4. Like, at least he knows C4 plays. Like, Pengu at the bottom of garage gets Corey. Corey was on Buck. Yes, right, good. Pengu does his job to try and do his best to hold garage. Hicks gets Pengu coming up garage stairs. Sounds about right. And now the scramble happens because it's literally a 2 pretty much v1. Finally, Citizen is killed. Was there a Valcam on site? Surely a Valcam in garage. Okay. A Valcam in storage. And a Valcam in stock, maybe. Okay. None on site. That's fair. Okay. Okay. Fast forward to the end of the round we go. No more cursed images. And round 9. Whew, this roller coaster ride has been wild. I'm feeling feels. I'm feeling so many feels. Okay, let's try CC again. Let's go again. This time, the mute is not the play. Maestro is the play. Uno takes the Wamai. Hey! That's what I like to see. Okay, so we're going to fast forward through because they're probably going to set up pretty similar. Pretty default. Those Maestro cans looking pretty default as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, Pengu on the bandit. I trust this man tenfold. Let's get a Pengu. I have no freaking doubt you're going to bandit trick the crap out of this. Let's go. Oh, look, barricading. Yes, let's go. Let's go, Pengu, my man. Ow! All right. This is looking a little bit more appropriate role-wise. Let's see. Drone goes in, barricade is called, Pengu is seen with his legs stuck halfway up in the middle of the air for some reason, and the bait comes out from Rise. Nice, Uno. That's what I like to see, bro. Beautiful one eyes. Here we go. Oh, look, it caught one. Hey! Let's go! This setup is fucking good. Yes. Finally, yes. God players doing God setups. Pog. Pog champ. Yes. Okay, the Flash got one. He should be able to get the second, though. Oh! Uno catches it with his last one. Oh! 2000 IQ. Let's go. Ooh. Where did you die from? Ooh, get peeked, brother. Dude, fucking Pog. Oh, no. No one's down here to challenge us. Oh, Pengu, no. Pengu, no. Did the wall get opened? The wall's not opened. What? It is? It is opened? No? I can't tell. He's got one EMP left. Okay. Is the wall breached? Yes? Yeah, I think so, on the right-hand side. I'm a little confused as to whether that got opened or not. Oh, good night. Oh, another one more. Oh, it was open. Okay. I did think so. I was going to say, there's no way. Hang on. I know we're not here to analyze... Here goes Aces again. I know we're not here to analyze Rogue in their gameplay. We're here to analyze G2, who just did a brilliant job that round. They wasted so much utility. Why did Rogue put so many players over on construction when they got the wall open? Why didn't they try and get garage as well? It's like G2's problem all over again. They might have been able to win that if they got garage control. Again, not here to analyze Rogue, but quite a few mistakes from Rogue there. Yeah. I love how quickly Uno picked Wamai again because of how effective it was. Beautiful round there from G2. Like that was it. That was how it needed to be. I know Pengu, like, couldn't keep the wall closed, but they wasted so much utility. They wasted flash and impacts and concussions and so much time. Even if the wall gets opened, if you did everything in your power the right way, like the way Uno was magnet throwing, and it was perfect. It was honestly perfect. That was the round. Like, if they want to look back on a round where like things were going right for them, that was it. Round 9. Are they bandit tricking? No. They have no wall denial. Oh. Why? Because it's too hard? So they might as well just let the wall get open? Is that the thought process? Is it... Or is it because they think Rogue will do a cache clear? I like, there's no wall denial at all, you know what I mean? I understand there's a Thatcher in play. Okay. I mean, I will see how this round plays out. I don't understand it 100%. But I don't think it's in... Whoa, Cantu's reinforcing so late. No one was there. Anyway. Yeah. I don't think it's inherently wrong, like, not to bring a wall denial, because, like, you know it's going to be EMP'd anyway. Just seems like, why take Wamai then? You know what I mean? I mean, we'll see what the point of that is, you know? Like, did he just shoot the Valkyrie camp? Nice. QZ wall gets opened up for free. Well, they know there's a Wamai up there. Didn't he just call it? He just called it, Rips, bro. Give it a second. Oh, golly, Jesus Lord, through the wall. My God. What is this frag fest? Oh, jeez. Why did you go into... Okay. Why did you... Did you just impact the bed? C4 the bed? Oh, no. That was not good. Huh. That's one thing I don't like about cash holds, is that they rely entirely upon the team pushing you in cash. What if I just go to like the window and I take stock and then I just don't worry about cash and you're stuck in there, and then I breach jacuzzi and plant gym door? Like, why do I have to deal with you in cash? Why? What is the impetus for me to have to come to cash? Like, that's literally what Rogue just did. They just opened stock, dropped, took the crossfire from jacuzzi across onto stock, and then everyone in cash was stuck because you can't get back. You can't over-rely on holding one room that's not even the site. You have to have contingency plans. And a C4 from below is not a contingency plan. I understand the cash setup. Like, I know why that's been like a meta for a while. Like, it definitely works. but there was just too much time and too much freebies that Rogue had, you know, freebie jacuzzi wall, freebie bathroom wall if they wanted. There was so much freebies coming in. Again, no wall denial. They're doing it again. What is the thought process behind this? I want to know what the impetus is behind them relying so heavily on cash. Are they going to pop the gym hatch at least? Did they I don't think Rogue reinforced. Oh yeah, they did. Okay. Rogue. G2 reinforced. CC wall, but they did. Ooh. Sorry, this is for me. I believe that's... I'm just looking at the distance between the hatch and here. This would be right over bedroom bathroom area. I believe. Ooh. Okay, did they get that wall open? Yes. He still should have one exothermic. And he still should be able to open bathroom should they want to. Sometimes you leave it closed because, like, it's too dangerous. Okay, there we go. Oh. Oh, the server having a little bit of an issue. Yikers. See, they're all so focused on Jacuzzi side. Ooh. Panga got an awesome shot into Hicks. Ooh, he took some health for it, though. They need to get this person off bed if they want to plant gym. And they know that. No, you can't just leap in every window and get every kill, aces. The thermite, how are you still alive? Ooh. Ooh! Good God! 1 HP in a dream. My heart. What? Yeah, every time someone clutches against me, it's an IQ. Every time. All right. That round was better. Much better. And that came all off the back of the shield bed spot. They couldn't deal with it. They had no grenades to deal with it and stuff like that. And had they been able to grenade it or whatnot, they might have been able to move Pengu out of his position. But no, they held it down. They did the right thing. And that's how a cash hold can be strong if you have really strong bedroom players. And now they got downstairs. I mean, it was almost a comeback. Do you know what I mean? Like they got better into the second half of the match. You know what I mean? Like G2, like it's like they started warming up. They started working out the silly mistakes that they were doing. So okay, what else is set up? Are they turtling? It kind of looks like a turtle setup. Because like Virtue's got the Kaid and you got some yo-yo shields and yeah. Oh god, the server. Where's the impact? Oh, there it is. What? Hicks? Bro. Just wait for your teammate to watch the, oh, your teammate's already in. Oh, Jesus Lord. Yo, if I'm G2 right now, I'm confused as to what the fuck is going on. Damn, Rogue be speedy, boys. Ooh, you getting smoked, boy. Love that LMG, though. God, you can pre-fire everything if you wanted to. What I really like is that G2 for pretty much 2 minutes now. Oh, sorry, let's go with 1 minute by the time they started actually getting into engagement points. Is that they haven't over-peaked anyone. Like, Corey's been absolutely laying down fire from Moto for a solid 30 seconds and no one's decided to engage him. So, did I notice the Thatcher go off? What Thatcher? What Thatcher? What are we talking about, chat? Where was that Thatcher? Wasn't that at Moto Door? A real problem with defenders who do a turtle setup is over peaking, being overly aggressive. The point of a turtle hold is that your shell, which is your utility, your reinforcements, your gadgets, etc., are strong enough to hold everyone out. That's like the point of it, you know what I mean? And that's the metaphor of it, kind of. And the the way that a turtle works best is if you keep that shell intact rather than trying to break out of the shell. And players that overpeak or give away their life unnecessarily start to put huge dents in that shell of that turtle. So if you're going to turtle, doing what G2 is doing now is the way to go about it. Who's the Valk? Citizen. Really well done in blue. See, that pick by Pengu, like, it was rather unnecessary. Like, the shield was still there. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. Citizen finally dies in blue, but that's okay. Because there's other players there to assist. Someone else comes running down blue. Surely they're going to get gunned as well. Because you have nothing open. Look at all these YouTubers. Look how safe the Go is. Who's that? Uno. Like, this is a great turtle hold. It's like it took them like half to 3/4 of the match to like switch on their like superior siege brains. Oh, wow. What a shot. Is he planting? No way. No way. No way you throw that. What? Oh. Hatch play. Superior. Just saying. No way. Yeah, look, someone just said in my chat, was Pengu bullet counting, hence he, I don't know how. It's pretty hard to bullet count an LMG. Pretty freaking hard. Especially one that's being fired sporadically and you don't know how many times they've reloaded. That's really difficult. I highly doubt it. I really highly doubt it, but maybe. I really want to go back on that round before we finish this analysis and just understand where that went wrong. 4 players alive, all playing perfectly, dwindling time down like experts. Where did this go wrong? Pengu died. He was the only... where did Rise come from? That's my question. We need to work out where Rise came from. He was already inside? Or did he go in from blue? He went in from... He had to have gone in from Moto because there was no rotate there. Unless he went in from blue as well and then snuck up on the left-hand side of the reinforcement. God, that would have been a tie. No doubt in my mind that would have been a tie. Okay, so Rise can plant freely in church. What happened to, who was the person over there? The Kaid. What was he aiming at before that? Where did the plant go down? There was someone in dirt tunnel. They had so many good angles. Where's that? Like, where is that plan? Can't Kaid see that through the rotate into church? Yeah, like, can't the Kaid see that? It's just past the angle? Okay. Okay. I'll accept that. If that's past the angle, then yeah. I don't know how Mozzie died either. Must have got shot from blue. Yeah, there was a lot of confusing kills in that last bit there. I think there being no one to sort of help Pengu hold. Like, my problem is, and I'll have to go back to show you. I'm not sure if I can. Okay, we'll do it here. My problem is that there's a rotate in armory wall here, and then there's like a Kaid with a ACOG, and I'm wondering why he can't see Rise standing in the middle left-hand side, the southeast side of church, standing there for a good like 10 seconds. Like he's in church like the whole time. Like he's physically in there standing up. So how was he not seen from the I don't know the angle that he's looking at that time. I just know that he's next to B bomb. So that's obviously the line of sight that gives him access to seeing into church through the rotate. So I'd be interested in knowing how Rise wasn't seen. Yeah. I mean, people are going to say, oh, Pengu dying there was the key. I mean, G2 didn't have blue control. What are you going to do behind bar? Like, that thing's penetrable. Like, you're going to get effed up either way behind that bar. So, not really his fault. He even took a kill before that. So, how Rise is allowed to stand in the middle of bar, though, the middle of church, I should say, is mind-blowing. What happened to this rotate that is here? That line of sight, I should say. Where's the people looking through it? Questions about that round. I believe it should have been a draw. I definitely believe it should have been a draw. They did everything right on this turtle setup. And it came down to maybe a little bit of lack of intel. Which was a real shame. The door frame extends a little past. Okay. All right, well. To end this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I know every stream I've been getting questions about this new G2 squad. I will reiterate again, and for those of you on YouTube who've already heard me say this, multiple times, I am live streaming this and then taking it to YouTube, so you have to forgive me. G2 has the most stacked lineup now that has ever existed in Siege. The players you see listed here, ladies and gentlemen, are currently some of the biggest names in Siege. Currently some of the biggest names with some of the best statistics in all of Siege. So I can confidently say that this team, outside of, teams like maybe TSM or SSG or whatnot, has one of the most stacked lineups that has ever existed in Siege's existence. Even more than the old G2. Okay, so I'm talking about the roster. I'm not talking about their successes or non-successes or anything like that. I'm talking about pure player-by-player ratio. It is the most stacked. And I've always said if they don't do well, it's not because of their individual skill. It's because of things like roles or synergy or cohesion or ability to adapt or something like that, right? It'll be a factor outside of their skill. So I do want us to remember that teams need time. Please give them time to work out how to mold and synergize their unbelievable skill together. Please give them time. They definitely need it. We must give them time to synergize and work on new strats and get to know each other. And they all live in a brand new country, or not brand new country, but they all live in a brand new place. Give them time to adjust to that. We must give this team time. And there were a couple of rounds in that matchup where I saw moments of brilliance from this team. Really good pieces of game sense. And we must applaud them for that under such short notice that they've been together. So really want to hammer in that point. I'm always hypercritical when I do my pieces of analysis. Sometimes I joke around and sort of, add the drama effect to it, with the whole cursed image thing. Of course, I'm going to be dramatic, keep a little bit of entertainment value to my analysis as well. But I still stand by my pre-opinion of this roster that they will be great. They will do great. We must give them time and we must trust in their support staff, of which they have many skilled support staff around them. So give them time. They will get to it. But playing a cognitive athlete at the highest level needs time. So really hope that we can give them that, give them the benefit of the doubt. And they didn't lose by much, ladies and gentlemen. And they were on a map that required coordination beyond any time they've been able to spend together to create. So that is all for my analysis for tonight. In total, for those two maps, it took us 5 hours, 15 minutes, way longer than I intended to go for, but that is the kind of depth that these two matches deserve to go to. So, yes, thank you all so much for being here. My plan is to come back in about 15, 20 minutes after I've had a, bit of drink of water, refresh, and then play a few hours of Siege. So if you do want to pop back into my stream in about 20 minutes, you can do so. And I appreciate you guys being here. You will find all of these uploaded on my YouTube in the next following days. So do look out for that. If you're not subscribed, I really appreciate it. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, thank you so much for being here and listening. And if you got any feedback for me, throw it in the comments. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I hope I can continue to bring this to you on a weekly basis. So look out for it. Keep your notifications on so you don't miss out. And I will see you guys very, very shortly. Thanks for being here.